What if telling the truth doesn't set you free, but pushes someone you love straight into someone else's arms? That's the emotional storm building in General Hospital, as Brook Lynn's long-awaited truth threatens to change everything for Chase. Because honesty doesn't always heal. Sometimes it creates distance. Sometimes it shifts hearts. And sometimes it opens the door for someone new. Brook Lynn's truth may be what pushes Chase toward Willow on General Hospital. In Port Charles, truth is rarely simple. It is not a clean resolution or a guaranteed path to healing. Instead, truth often functions as a catalyst, something that reveals, disrupts, and ultimately reshapes the emotional landscape in ways that cannot be undone. That is exactly what appears to be happening with Brook Lynn, Chase, and Willow. Brook Lynn's truth, whatever its full details, carries weight, not just because of what it reveals, but because of what it changes. And at the center of that change is Chase, a character whose emotional journey has been defined by loyalty, integrity, and a deep desire for connection. Now, that connection is being tested, and in the space created by that test, Willow may step in. Brook Lynn, the burden of truth. Brook Lynn. Quartermaine has always been a character who navigates complex emotional terrain. She is not defined by simplicity. She carries emotional history, personal conflict, a tendency to protect others, even at her own expense. Her decision to reveal the truth is significant not because it is unexpected, but because it is necessary. At some point, the weight of withholding becomes heavier than the consequences of revealing, and that is where Brook Lynn finds herself. The nature of the truth. Why it matters. The specifics of Brook Lynn's truth may remain partially obscured, but its impact is clear. It is not neutral. It is not insignificant. It is transformative. Because it alters perception. It changes how Chase sees her, how he understands their relationship, and how he interprets everything that came before. Chase, a character, defined by emotional integrity. Harrison Chase is not someone who reacts lightly to emotional revelations. He values honesty, trust, consistency. These values shape his responses. So when Brook Lynn reveals the truth, Chase does not simply hear it. He processes it, he weighs it, and he feels its impact deeply. The emotional shift, from stability to uncertainty. Before the truth, Chase and Brook Lynn exist in a space of relative stability. There may be underlying tension, but there is also familiarity. After the truth, that stability is disrupted. Uncertainty replaces certainty. Questions replace assumptions. And emotional distance begins to form. This shift is not immediate or explosive. It is gradual, but it is undeniable. Willow. The quiet presence. Willow Tait enters this dynamic not as a disruptor, but as a presence. She represents something different. Calm. Understanding. Emotional clarity. Where Brook Lynn's truth introduces complexity, Willow offers simplicity. And that contrast matters. Because in moments of emotional instability, characters often gravitate toward what feels stable. The space created by truth. Truth does not just reveal, it creates space. Space where trust must be rebuilt. Emotions must be processed. Decisions must be reconsidered. That space can be uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, characters seek connection. For Chase, that connection may begin to shift toward Willow. Why Willow becomes significant. Willow's role in this storyline is not accidental. She becomes significant because she occupies the emotional space left open by Brook Lynn's truth. She offers listening without judgment, support without complication, presence without pressure. These qualities make her a natural point of emotional gravity, and Chase, navigating uncertainty, may find himself drawn toward that gravity. The subtle development of connection. If a shift toward Willow is happening, it is not sudden. It is subtle. It develops through conversations, shared understanding, moments of vulnerability. These interactions build over time, and each one adds to the possibility of something more. The emotional conflict within Chase. Chase's journey is not straightforward. He is not simply moving from one connection to another. He is navigating. Loyalty to Brook Lynn. Emotional response to her truth. Growing comfort with Willow. These competing elements create internal conflict, and that conflict drives the narrative forward. Brook Lynn's perspective. Consequence and realization. For Brook Lynn, the consequences of telling the truth begin to unfold gradually. She may realize that honesty, while necessary, comes with cost. That cost includes emotional distance, changed dynamics, the possibility of losing Chase. This realization adds depth to her character because it forces her to confront the impact of her decision. The theme of timing. Timing plays a crucial role in this storyline. If Brook Lynn's truth had come earlier or later, the outcome might be different. But it arrives at a moment when Chase is emotionally receptive. Willow is present. The narrative is ready for change. This alignment of timing creates momentum, and momentum drives transformation. The ripple effect across relationships. This shift does not exist in isolation. It affects how others perceive Brook Lynn, how Chase interacts with his environment, how Willow becomes integrated into the dynamic. These ripple effects expand the storyline beyond a single relationship. The complexity of emotional transition. Moving from one emotional connection to another is rarely clean. It involves space stem, processing past feelings, navigating present uncertainty. Considering future possibilities, Chase's journey reflects this complexity. He is not replacing one connection with another, he is evolving. Why this storyline resonates? This arc resonates because it reflects real emotional experiences. The impact of honesty, the fragility of trust, the unpredictability of emotional change, the role of timing in relationships. These elements make the storyline relatable even within its dramatic context. The question at the center. Will Brook Lynn's truth push Chase toward Willow? The answer is not definitive, but the trajectory suggests possibility. And in storytelling, possibility is often more powerful than certainty. Final thoughts. Brook Lynn's truth in General Hospital is more than a revelation. It is a catalyst, one that disrupts stability, creates emotional space, and opens the door to new connections. For Chase, that door may lead toward Willow, not as a replacement, but as a new chapter. Because in Port Charles, truth does not just reveal what is, it reshapes what could be.